Hey, what's up, my beautiful people? It's your boy Devo, some motivational, back with another day trading spy recap, and it's another day trading spy recap. Sorry about that. Another day trading spy recap. Remember, I love every single one of y'all who are with me on this journey. All the comments, all the likes, all the views. It means everything to me, and I appreciate every single one of y'all who are with me on this journey. And let's get straight into it. So today, man, today is a very frustrating day. Okay, so I had everything. I would have been in profit if not. Well, I should have been in profit. I don't know what this market is doing. I should have been in profit. If I wasn't in profit, it should have been break even. But my orders did not get filled. And ultimately, this candle right here. Oh my goodness, man. My orders didn't get filled. And ultimately, I got stopped out. But we're going to get later into that, okay? So I want to show you why I got in, where I got in at this 1 minute chart, and then I'm gonna bring you into my 5 minute chart to show you where I could have waited for better confirmation and more confirmation. And that's why you got to look at your bigger time frames and see your change of characters and see your that in your bigger time frame you want to see your actual moves. So that's whenever you scale down into your smaller time frames. Instead, what did I do? I waited for confirmations in my 1 minute time frame, and then I went out to my 5 minute time frame, and I realized, wait, I didn't really get what I wanted. Okay, and so I'm gonna show you everything I'm talking about. Okay, so first to start the day, we didn't have much news. Let me refresh it for y'all. We didn't have no news at all, which is probably why the market is doing absolutely nothing. As you can see, just a whole bunch of chop, absolutely nothing. But so let's start off with what we had to start the day. So let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see everything. Okay. So yesterday, as we know, we had this huge down move, right? And of course, I couldn't get in the move. Of course, the price always wants to take off without me, right? And so we know we had this high, low, lower high before making a lower low and then a lower high because we had a rally at the end of the day, right? We basically just pulled back and made that lower high to at the ending of the day, right? And so to start the day, we actually started up around right here, right? Yeah, April 15th, 539. We shot up to 542, and I had this resistance line right here. Why? Because this was our last lower high, right? And so I knew if price broke this one, well, I also wanted it to wait for this one too. But if price broke this and was trending up and would break this high right here, I know price wants to move up, right? So you just got to mark out your low levels, right? And so had this level marked out. What did price do? It didn't actually take it out. It didn't take it out. Well, we see it did actually break past. Right here, it's just like wicks and sweeping. It took it out, but it's basically just a sweep. And then it got knocked back down with some heavy seller volume, right? Heavy seller volume right here. And as you can see, when it was trending up from 539 up to 542, we have no volume, no buyer volume. And even as price is moving up right here, no volume. Even as price is moving up right here, no volume. But we do see these heavy spikes in seller volume. So we know these sellers are here, right? But we're not getting no sign of these buyers, right? Besides these candles that are moving up, but we're not getting no volume, right? And so I waited. I was being patient. I was waiting for everything. I waited towards my 9:15, 10 o'clock range, and price broke down with heavy volume, right? And this is where I just felt like I had a good entry, right? I was being patient. Price broke down, giving me my change of character in my 1 minute time frame. So we'll scale out and show y'all where it was an actual change of character, okay? So in my 1 minute time frame, we had a change of character. Why? Because it's our last lower high. I mean, in this little uptrend, this is our last higher low, right? We broke that, giving a change of character, retracing, because this is, remember, this is a retracement. 2 candles is a retracement. We need 3 candles and 3 candles that finish above each other, 3 candles or more that finish above each other to be considered a pullback, right? So I wasn't worried about this, right? Why? Because we don't have no gap. Well, we had, yeah, there's no gap right here, right? Now you see price kind of filled this, came up. Yeah, there's nothing right here, right? So I wasn't worried about this. And I said, if price breaks down and it takes off without me, it takes off without me, right? I'm not worried about it. If I missed a trade, I missed a trade, okay? What did price do? It pulled back, came into my area. Came into the area I wanted, and I was waiting and being patient for it. I was like, oh, yes. I was like, this is what patience rewards us, right? It's like, this is where patience rewards us. And whenever it came in there, what do I want? I want my wicks, and then engulfing. What do we have? We had this strong candle. We had this doji. We had another doji. This is like kind of like a doji. I'm not kind of sure what that candle is called. It looks kind of like a doji, almost like a doji. But this is an actual doji one right here, right? And so then we had this huge drop. It got wicked up, but you see this seller volume, right? So you see the sellers are there, right? So we got this huge candle down, and that wick was so fast. Like you couldn't even press. As soon as you press buy, you still wouldn't even have, or like sell for a put. You still wouldn't even been able to get in the move. That wick was so quick. It literally dropped and just got bought right back up, right? Okay, and then the next one, I got this retracement. I got in right here, right? Where was my stop loss? My stop loss has to be at the top of my pullback, right? At the top of my pullback. Really, if you want a wider stop loss, you could put it kind of at the top of this like order block area. But I feel like if price comes into that fair value gap, if price comes into this fair value gap, and also this fair value gap, and also we see this is like an order block right here, so it's kind of touching both. If it comes up past that, these sellers are not in control, right? I mean, that's kind of how I feel. I mean, especially with all this seller volume, there's no way if you come past that with all this seller volume, clearly the bulls are in control, right? So my stop loss is on top of here. I got in at this retracement, 541.21. Stop loss is at 542, basically, right? So then price starts dropping my way. I'm a little excited. I want price. What do I want price to do? I really want price to break this wick. And this is where I can pull up my risk to reward. So my stop loss is up here. That's why I have the top of this red box. My entry was at this retracement. That's why I have the middle area right there. And then my take profit would be down here. So what is that? That is a 1 to 3.9. So basically a 1 to 4 ratio. So that's a good ratio you want, right? So what did price do? It started coming my way, and I was up, a couple bucks, whatever. And then it started coming up against me. It was like, all right. I mean, this is where it's like literally every time I get in the trade, it feels like you get nothing but the opposite candles, right? Because I'm in the trade. I got in where the volume was at. I got in at the good price action, I felt like. And what did price do? Price just kept coming against me. Kept trying to drop, but you see all these heavy wicks, meaning buyers are buying it up. See this big old candle. So price was playing with me, right? And then this is where it was just playing with my stop loss, right? And so remember, my stop loss has to get a candle closed above it, because I know a candle will come up above but get wicked down, like exactly like you see it came above, and I'm like, oh my goodness, got wicked down, right? Came above, got wicked down, right? Came above, got wicked down, right? And so I always want a candle to close above my stop loss, right? And so it didn't. So it dropped back down, and this is where I was like, you know what? I was up money right here, right? I was in the money, up about 50, 60 bucks right here, right? So I was like, you know what? If I can get price to break that area, I was like, it's so much top. Because keep in mind, I'm in here from, oh my God, I hate this in military time or whatever this is. So this is 8, 13 is 8 o'clock, 14 is 9 o'clock. So I got in at 9:47. So I was in the trade from 9:47 till 10:52. That is way too long to be in a trade. If you're not swing trading like for the day, that is way too long to be a scalper, okay? So keep in mind, I was in this trade way too long. So I was like, okay, where I was in the money at, where I was up money at, if it breaks that area, I'm out. Well, what did price do? It ended up actually trending down towards my way, actually broke this area, and I wasn't in the money. So that's what I'm saying. That's why whenever you get in at the option, that's why whenever you buy an option, you want to make sure you get in at basically like a kind of your perfect area where you feel is perfect. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously where I felt was perfect, but it didn't go my way. So obviously it wasn't perfect. But you want to get in at the area that you feel is perfect and that you're going to get like an immediate drop. You know what I'm saying? Because if you hold it long enough, your contract loses value. It kind of makes no sense because it's the same contract, right? And I'm only in for an hour. It's not like it's the end of the day. But that's how the game works. You know what I'm saying? You can't complain about the game. I can't change it, so there's nothing. You don't complain about it, right? And so right here, I was minus 18 bucks. Why was I minus 18 bucks? Actually, thinking about it, that's a spread. Um, there's a spread in the option price, right? So whatever the bid is, so say the bid for that contract option is $1.72, but we know we multiply it times 100 for these options, so it'd be $172. But the actual buy price, because remember, whenever you're buying a contract, somebody has to sell it to you. It's a transaction, right? So the person that wants to give me the contract, say that bid was 180. He's like, okay, I'll sell it to you for 180, but the bid is 172. You can bid on it and wait for that price, or you can just take the immediate asking price. So I just always take the immediate asking price, right? And so you have a spread through that option, right? So that's where I think right here, even though I was up about 60 bucks right here, I guess holding it long enough, holding it a little longer, right here I was down 18 bucks. And it was down like up to 8 bucks, right? So I was like, you know what? It broke that area. I said I was gonna get out. Even though I'm not in the money, 8 bucks, 16 bucks, 20 bucks is not bad, right? I pressed sell my contracts, it didn't get filled. Like what do you mean it's not getting filled? I cancel the order. Price starts getting this heavy volume. It starts breaking up above me. I'm like, okay, man, at this point it makes no sense. And then so I'm down like 42 bucks. I'm like, let me sell my contracts again. I'm trying to get out, right? Because I don't want to play this game already. You know what I'm saying? I found out I was in the range. When you're in a range, you don't want to play that range game. You know what I'm saying? You that's why you try to get in at these order blocks and these fair value gaps so you can get in at the trend. You do not want to play the range game, right? And so through all of this, I noticed I was in the range game, right? So right here where it came and basically broke me even, I was trying to get out. It wasn't letting me get out. And this is so frustrating because it's like I'm trying to get out of the freaking trade and the market just wants to take money from you. You know what I'm saying? And oh my God, it's so frustrating. And so I was down about 18 bucks. I'm trying to close my trade. Didn't close. Starts breaking up. I'm down 42 bucks. Doesn't want to close. And all of a sudden, this candle just keeps shooting up. Keeps shooting up. Finally, when it lets me sell the contract, I'm down 136 bucks. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, mine is 18 bucks. Them taking 18 bucks from me isn't enough. You know what I'm saying? So that's annoying. And that's why you want these good brokers, these fast acting brokers, because some brokers will transact faster than others. That is probably why a lot of really successful option traders, and I'm not saying nobody uses Robinhood, but a lot of really successful option traders do not use Robinhood. That's probably honestly why. Because it usually doesn't happen to me. That usually doesn't happen to me, but this is the first time that's actually happened to me. It really triggered me. That really triggered me because I got what I wanted. I was not being greedy. I was like, okay, I'm at a loss, but it broke the area already that I had pre-planned to get out. Okay, let me get out. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't being greedy. I was at this candle. I was like, okay, let me get out. And it just was not letting me get out. So when I got this, and then this candle again, as it broke up, it just kept breaking up. I was trying to get out as fast as I could through this whole process. Wasn't letting me get out. So minus 136 bucks. Do I feel like that was a loss? Yeah. I even though I was trying to get out, I still take the loss because it didn't go my way, right? Do I really feel like in my psyche I'm down? Well, obviously, I mean, in my wallet I have negative $136. You know what I'm saying? So, but in my psyche, do I feel like I know I'm down $136, right? But in my psyche, I broke even. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I was selling my contracts, spamming these buttons, and when it didn't fill, I canceled order, try to fill it again, and it just would not let me get out. Okay. Oh my goodness, and that's just so frustrating, man. It's so frustrating when the market just does this to you. But on the days you cannot capitalize off this, like, you know what I'm saying? And that's where you see like market makers. Yes, the market makers, because we know there are higher ups that control this market that just play with people's money, up and down, left and right, right. So, oh man, it's so frustrating. But so down $136, made $36 yesterday, so now we're down 100 on the week. Ah, man, whatever. Just chop it up and get better with it, right? And so this is where I'm gonna show you where, even though I should have been down break even, I'm gonna show you where, looking at my bigger time frame, my change of character wasn't in my 1 minute. It was a change of character, but remember, your big time frame is what really matters, because this 1 minute you're gonna see all types of stuff, and even if you're trading, if I'm trading like my hourly chart, right? In my 5 minute, I'm gonna get all types of change of characters and all type of stuff, right? But we trade the 15 minute. We go from the 15 minute to the 5 minute to the 1 minute. Why? Because we're scalpers, right? We want to make them quick profits, quick moves, right? So we're not really worried about what's happening in the 1 hour. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not trying to trade. We're not trying to swing trade. We're trying to scalp. So we want these little $5 price action moves. You get what I'm saying? So that's why we stay in our 15 minute and 5 minute, 1 minute. But we come to our daily and our hourly to mark out our big, supply demand zones, because when you hit those zones, like say I'm scalping, right? And in my 5 minute time frame, which I'm pretty sure has some type of support, right? My 5 minute time frame, we're itching down, and maybe I have a downtrend, right? Stay with me, guys. I'm trying to really tell you guys something. So say in my 5 minute, we're itching down, and we have a downtrend, right? And then all of a sudden I reach an area, and then I get this huge $50 move up. I'm like, what happened? Where'd that come from? Well, that's why that's why you have to have these zones marked out in your big time frames, because in your big time frame you will get a much bigger reaction. You get what I'm saying? So in your small time frame, you'll be having a downtrend, and you'll be capitalizing off of these $5 moves, $8 moves, $3 moves. But in your big time frames, you get these 523 to 514 candle. You see what I'm saying? So in the bigger time frames, your candles and moves are much bigger. So whenever you're itching down to those zones, you're gonna get a bigger reaction. So that's why you mark out those zones. So in my 5 minute, when I itch to those zones, I know to get out or be cautious, because I know there can be a serious change of character. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So look, when we itch down, see how we had some type of support, right? So I'm pretty sure right here we had a downtrend, right? We had a downtrend, right? In our 5 minute and our 1 minute, we had a downtrend, and then all of a sudden we reached this area of support, and then 534 goes up to 542. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you want to have those zones marked out, because you will have the bigger reactions, and so you won't be so surprised. Okay. So let me just go to my 5 minutes to show you where I could have actually avoided, I guess, which I still should have been break even, but I could have avoided even this whole being frustrated and everything. You know what I'm saying? And this is where, whenever you lose a trade, it kind of really messes up your day. Like, if I'm being honest, it really does kind of mess up your day, because it's frustrating. You know, you're losing money. You know what I'm saying? This is real money that you work hard for. And this is real money that you work hard for. You put in real time into studying these things. And I'm gonna go into another rant, but I'm gonna go into another rant on all of that, but let me just show you where I could have avoided this whole entry, right? So in my 1 minute, you know how I had this line right here because I had my change of character, right? Well, we don't have an actual change of character, right? Because if you look at my 5 minute, I have a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low, right? A lower high, a lower high. I don't have a lower low yet, right? So we're still in this little swing, right? You see how I had this retracement area or this little little drop right here, whatever you want to call it. There's a little drop, but we are still technically in this whole swing, right? Because we have a high, low, lower high, lower low, and then where our last lower high is, we have all of this area to break, right? Because we have to break this last area to create another lower low, right? But obviously, we don't want to wait for 533, 542. We don't want to wait for this area to get completely broken to get into a trade, right? Because it's like, okay, I might not get into a trade for 2-3 days, right? Or tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. It'll take longer for that trade, right? But what I could have waited for was this break of this last little stop, right? Because as you see, we try to come down and make a lower low, but we got stopped right here, right? So we got stopped by these buyers. So what I could have actually waited for was, yeah, I got to change the character my 1 minute, but it's not showing that it actually wanted to break these buyers, right? And this is where that big time frame matters, right? Because I had that huge drop and wick, right? But where did I get that wick at? I got the wick down here. So it's not a random, oh, you know what I'm saying? How in my 1 minute, I'm like, we had this huge seller volume, this huge drop, and then we just had this huge wick. No, you didn't have this huge wick out of nowhere, and this is where it goes into the big time frame, the bigger time frames, right? Because 5 minute isn't big, but it's the bigger time frame of the 1 minute, right? But that's where no, it's not a random wick. That's the wick where these buyers actually bought price up, right? So it's not a random wick. So what would I have wanted? I should have waited for price to actually break this area with solid candles, and then give an actual retracement before creating lower lows. So that's where I feel like I could have actually avoided it. Again, I still should have been break even at least. If not break even, I should have been in profit, right? Because as I said, I was in profit. At these candles, and price comes up, and then right here I was break even, which I don't know why I was break even. I should have been in profit, but hey, whatever. I wasn't gonna complain about it. Minus $18. I see that as break even. You know what I'm saying? Nope. Price minus $18 wasn't enough for price. Wasn't enough for the market. Didn't want to fill my orders at minus 18. Didn't want to fill my orders at minus $42. It wanted to fill my orders at a minus $136. Right? Wiping away what I made yesterday, and then some of my money regardless. You know what I'm saying? So that's extremely frustrating. You know, and that's where trading is really hard, right? Because trading is a really hard game, right? Because we are not accustomed to losing, right? Humans and let me make sure that we're recording. Okay, guys, I had to make sure we're recording because sometimes I start recording and it don't even be recording me. And so this is where pick your poison, okay? Trading is hard, right? This is something I love doing. This is something I feel is really going to be my career. I feel like this is something that I'm going to be able to teach you guys, right? Because I know a lot of this info. I'm still getting better and still learning it, but I know a lot of this info. I practice all this info. I study this daily. Pretty much this is all I do, right? This is all I do is these charts, studying how to get better at this. This is all I do, right? And so this is a career of mine. This is what I feel is going to be my career, trading. And you see in my description what I lay it out, what I'm gonna be and what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't see this description in my YouTube channel, please go watch. Please go read that. And so it's hard to stick with this, right? Because I'm losing money. I'm studying. I'm putting in hours. I'm putting in days doing this stuff. Showing up every day to these markets. Some days I make money. A lot of days I'm losing money, right? But it won't be like this forever. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, it will come around where I'm making money, making money, making money, right? And I know it's gonna come, but that's where you gotta stick to it, right? Because as humans, we do not like to lose, right? It's not normal for us to lose and be happy about it, right? It's not normal for us to lose $100 and still be all jolly and happy, right? It's not normal for us to lose a trade and then still lose continuous trades, not just a trade, continuous trades, lose $500 in a week, lose $100 in a day when you're working your butt off, studying these markets, but also working your butt off to get money to feed these markets, right? Basically feeding these markets, right? And so it's not normal to stick through things like this. It's not normal to lose money and still show up another day like, okay, I'm ready to put more money in and I'm ready to get after it, right? It's not normal. It's not normal. It's not normal for me lose $500 in a week and still show up next week every single day ready to get after it. That's not normal, right? It's not normal as human beings to be able to lose and still just come back at it, trusting your strategies. Why do I trust my strategy even though I'm losing? The most successful traders trade the same strategy. The fair value gaps, the order blocks, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I know it works. It just has to execute, right? And so it's not normal to continue losing and keep showing up day by day, right? But that's where you have to pick your poison. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna continue showing up and continue chopping at the bit, continue getting better, continue chasing your dream, continue doing what you love to do, continuously, chasing your dream? Are you gonna continue chasing your dream, or are you gonna say F this? I'm gonna go back to just, and I'm not bashing anybody who likes to just have a job and just have a normal paying job or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to do, that's good for you. But I'm saying for me and for people who have dreams of being an entrepreneur or maybe doing these markets or being an investor and things like that, you have to keep chopping at the bit. You have to keep showing up day in, day out, because ultimately, what are you going to do? Are you going to just say F your dreams? You know what I'm saying? You got to pick your poison, because if you have these dreams of being somebody, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to get there. But you know what also is actually hard? You know what is also hard? It's hard to live your life knowing you didn't continue chasing your dreams. Because at the end of my life, if I stop doing this and stop chopping at the bit, stop getting better, stop dropping YouTube videos for you guys, showing up daily, right? Because do I want to show up daily for you guys? I lost $100. Do I want to show up? I mean, honestly, I do want to show up, right? Because I love showing the journey, but is it hard to do it? Yeah, it's hard, because I'm getting on here. I lost another $100. All right, but I gotta chop it up, and guess what? Tomorrow I'm gonna hop back on the horse, right? Tomorrow I'll hop back on the horse, and I'm gonna continue doing it, and I'm gonna keep studying and continue getting better. Why? Because my dreams are bigger than these setbacks. You know what I'm saying? I know these are just setbacks, right? And so you got to pick your pain. Do you want to live your life knowing you didn't accomplish your dreams and goals because you gave up? Or do you want to live your life, and it's going to be hard, but when you break that step and you're actually sorry, I got a message that threw me off. Do you want to live your life knowing I gave up on my dreams and now I'm working for somebody else's dream? Because that's really what you're doing. When I'm working at a company, someone else owns that company. Their dream is to continue making more money through that company. So I'm feeding their dreams. So at the end of my life, do I want to know that? At the end of my life, sorry, I know this is a little long, but stay with me. At the end of my life, do I want to know that I didn't continue chasing my dreams and I didn't accomplish my dreams because I gave up? Or Do I want to stick through it? And at the end of the day, when I do accomplish these dreams and I'm very successful at doing this, which I know I will be, you know what I'm saying, which I know I will be, I'm gonna be able to look back and be like, you did it. You stuck through it. It was hard, but you stuck through it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what you gotta think about at anything you're really trying to accomplish. Do you wanna How do you want to live your life? Because it's all hard. It's hard to show up daily and go to a job every day and just, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to do that. It's hard to just wait for your paycheck every 2 weeks, wait for your check every week. It's hard to do that. But it's also hard to chase your dreams and do something great. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm getting at. That's where I really want to get at. So, and I'm saying this to you guys, but I'm also saying it to myself. You know what I'm saying? Because it frustrates me, man. It's extremely frustrating, right? But that's where I gotta remind myself. It's all hard. You gotta pick your heart, right? And so that's pretty much it, right? I will probably I didn't drop a night video for you guys last night, but that's because we didn't really have no news. We didn't have no news. I didn't have a second trade or nothing, and so I didn't really have nothing to tell you guys at night. But I knew I was gonna show up this morning and be with you guys, right? And I hope what I just said really resonates with you guys, right? And so that's pretty much it. I showed you guys where in my bigger time frames, that's what I could have waited for more confirmation that we were actually heading down. Where we were actually heading down. My big time frame, I could have waited for the actual break because this is where the buyers bought it back up. Because they were trying to create a lower low, right? We were trying to drop and make a lower low, but these buyers stepped in. So whenever I thought I had my change of character, I didn't break these actual buyers, right? I didn't break the buyers yet. If we would have broke these buyers with a solid candle, then I wait for my pullback, which I'm waiting for my pullbacks. I'm waiting for my fair value gaps, but I gotta look at them in a bigger time frame, okay? So that's why whenever you do something wrong, whenever you lose, look at that as a lesson, right? Ultimately, I call them tuition fees because the market's going to give you a lot of money when you're on the right side. But when you're on the wrong side, it's going to take money from you, right? But we got to pay these tuition fees. We got to learn what's the wrong side, why I got in on the wrong side, so I can know how to be on the why you want to know why you were on the wrong side and how you were on the wrong side, so ultimately you know how to get on the right side, okay? So I know this was kind of a little motivational video, but that's what my name is called, right? Devo so motivational, right? And so I hope that really speaks to the heart with you guys. And even I did tell you a little bit about the market. You want to wait for your bigger time frames, right? And so, but this video is mainly for motivational for you guys and motivation for myself, because this trade did beat me up because I should have been at least break even, right? I should have been at least break even. And as we see right now, this market would probably just tank now because I'm not in the trade. And that's what it feels like. It literally feels like every time I get in the trade, Robinhood calls the market maker and says, hey, Devin's in the trade. Go ahead and stop him out. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's all right? We know none of that's actually happening, which I hope not. You know what I'm saying? Because it kind of feels like it. And so that's pretty much it for you guys. Remember, I love every single one of y'all who are on the journey, right? Stick with me. I promise big wins are coming. A lot of big things are coming. All right, guys? So stick with me through the journey. It's going to be worth it. And remember, guys, stay persistent, passionate, and make sure y'all get paid. All right? Peace.